Welcome to this presentation. In this presentation, let us have an insight of demand pacemaker. The demand pacemaker, in the absence of R wave, automatically reverts to fixed rate mode of operation. The problems of shorter battery life and competition for the control of heart led in part to the development of ventricular programmed pulse generator. Either type of ventricular programmed pulse generator, when connected to the ventricles via electrodes, is able to sense the presence of naturally occurring R wave. The output of R wave inhibited unit is suppressed as long as natural R waves are present. Thus, its output is held back or inhibited when the heart is able to pace itself. However, should standstill occur or should the instantaneous rate fall below the preset rate of the pacer, the unit will automatically provide an output to pace the heart after an escape interval at the designated rate. In this way, ventricular inhibited pacers are able to pace the demand. Some external demand mode pacers may be adjusted to operate in a fixed rate mode. Fixed rate mode by means of an accessible mode control of the type, which we have seen in the previous presentation. Other controls allow the setting of the pacer's rate anywhere between 30 and 180 bpm, as well as the amplitude of the pacing pulses between 0.1 and 20 milliamperes. Some external demand pacemakers have a sense pace indicator that deflects for each detected R wave or pacer initiated impulse. The on-off switch of some external pacers is provided with the interlock mechanism to prevent the unit from being accidentally turned off. So a demand pacer, in the absence of R waves, automatically will revert the fixed mode. For testing purposes, at the time of implantation and for evaluation later, implanted demand pacers are purposely placed in fixed rate mode, usually by means of a magnet provided by manufacturer. When placed over the skin layer covering the pacer, the magnet activates a magnetically operated switch that prevents the pacer from sensing R waves activity. And this process causes the pacer to operate in a fixed rate mode at a slightly higher rate, about 10 bpm higher than the demand mode pacing rate that had been preset. For a patient with a normal sinus rhythm, this procedure is used to ensure that an implanted demand pacer whose output is normally inhibited is capable of providing pacing pulses when needed. Evidence of presence of pacing impulses is obtained from the electrocardiogram. Pacing impulses may appear as pacing artifacts or spikes. Occasionally, they may seriously distort the recorded QRS complex. So, when required, the basic pacing rate of some of the earlier implanted pacers may be changed with the use of a needle-like screwdriver that is inserted transparently to alter the rate control in the pulse generator. The amplitude of the pulses may also be adjusted in some earlier pacers by using the same type of needle in an appropriate control. In a newer type of pacer, these adjustments are accomplished by means of coded impulses that are magnetically coupled to the implanted pulse generator from the skin surface, and thus eliminating the need to puncture the skin. To adjust the pacemaker, a special programming device with an attached coil is placed over the implanted pulse generator, and appropriate controls on the programmer allow the unit to transmit coded signal that cause the pacer to change its basic rate and vary the amplitude of its impulses. The basic rate and impulse amplitude of other recent implantable pulse generators are fixed by the manufacturer and cannot be changed, however. And when placed over the skin layer covering the pacer, the magnet activates a magnetically operated switch that prevents the pacer from sensing R wave activity. For a patient with a normal sinus rhythm, this procedure is used to ensure that an implanted demand pacer whose output is normally inhibited is capable of providing pacing pulses when needed. The demand pacemaker consists of a timing circuit, pulse width circuit, and rate limit circuits. The timing circuit consists of RC network, a reference voltage source, and a comparator. It determines the basic pacing rate of the pulse generator. It's RC network. The RC network is used in a pulse width circuit, which determines the stimulating pulse duration. Rate limit circuit is a RC network which disables the comparator for a preset interval, limiting the pacing rate to a maximum of 120 pulses per minute. So this diagram shows the block diagram of the demand pacemaker. And the output circuit provides an output pulse to stimulate the heart, and the voltage monitor senses cell depletion and signals the rate slowdown circuit and energy compensation circuit of the event. The rate slowdown circuit slows down the pulse rate by 8 plus or minus 3 pulses per minute when cell depletion occurs. And the energy compensation circuit causes the pulse width to increase to maintain a constant stimulation energy when cell depletion occurs. It provides a time period of which after an output pulse was sensed R wave during which the amplifier doesn't respond to outside signals. The sensing circuit senses an intrinsic R wave and resets the oscillator timing capacitor, and the reversion circuit causes the pacemaker to inhibit its operation in case of presence of natural R wave or to exhibit its operation in case of absence of natural R wave. So in the absence of the R wave, the circuit allows the oscillator to produce pacing pulses at its present rate. The inhibited pacemaker allows the heart to pace at its normal rhythm when it is able to do. If the R wave is missing for a preset period of time, then the pacemaker will turn on and provide a heart stimulus. So hence it is termed as demand pacemaker. And next let us discuss about atrial synchronous pacemaker. P wave is sensed in this atrial synchronous pacemaker since it is related to the atrial operation, and this P wave is picked up by the electrode fixed on the atrium. It is given to the amplifier circuit. Amplifier circuit is used to amplify the P waveform, and the circuit is used to give a delay of 0.12 seconds. So this diagram shows the block diagram of atrial synchronous pacemaker. The output of the delay circuit is given to the refractory control and preset multivariated block. If the P wave amplitude is not in normal value, then the fixed rate pacemaker will turn on. When the P wave amplitude is normal, then the fixed rate pacemaker is off. So if a fixed rate pacemaker is on, then the output is given to the amplifier. The amplified signal is given to ventricle through electrode, and the refractory control circuits provide some time delay because pacemaker pulse is too large. And next let us discuss about the atrial sequential ventricular inhibited pacemaker. It has the capability of stimulating both atria and ventricles. If atrial functions falls, this pacemaker will stimulate the atrium and then sense the subsequent ventricular beat. If atrial beat is not conducted to ventricle, the pacemaker will fire the ventricle at a preset interval of 0.12 seconds. Next, what we are going to see here is the defibrillator. Before going into defibrillator, let us now look into what do you mean by fibrillation? A condition in which normal rhythmic contractions of atria or ventricles are replaced by rapid irregular switching of their muscular walls is known as fibrillation. Fibrillation of atria is called the atrial fibrillation, and that of ventricles is called ventricular fibrillation. A defibrillator is a circuit or an electronic device which creates a sustained myocardial depolarization of a patient's heart in order to stop ventricular fibrillation or atrial fibrillation. This shows the types of fibrillators, that is AC fibrillators, DC defibrillators, synchronized defibrillator, square pulse defibrillator, double square pulse defibrillator, biphasic DC fibrillator. And the pulse is applied directly to heart or usually rectangular in shape with a duration of 0.15 to 3 millisecond depending upon the pulse generator used and the needs of the patient. Depending on the values of the impulse current required to capture, pulse amplitude may range from 5 to 15 milliamps for adults, while infants and children require less. If an emergency, pacing can also be done through intact chest walls, amplitude 10 times as great as required. These higher values of the currents are often painful and may cause burns and contractions of the chest muscles and diaphragms. The amplitude and impulse required to capture heartbeat of a patient is affected by the duration of the pulse. For example, an impulse of 2 millisecond duration may capture when its amplitude is only 3 milliamps. On the other hand, a 0.8 millisecond pulse may reach 6 milliamps before capture occurs. So the ability to capture and hence the threshold of the phasor impulse that has given amplitude and duration also depend on the electrical quantity of the contact between the electrode and heart. Capture will occur at a higher threshold value for a poor contact than a good electrical contact at the electrode heart muscle interface. So the quantity of the electrode heart muscle contact also affects demand basis inhibition capability or sensitivity, and a good contact will permit the basis output to maintain inhibited for smaller values of sensor waves. Thank you.